Well, folks, good day to you one and all, and welcome back. This is the second half of what you've been waiting for, and I suppose this is the part that you've really been waiting for. We've had the quali, we've had the practice, we've had the quali, and we've had the sprint race, and now it's time to get into the serious part of it. We are 1.5 minutes away from gridding for the 1 hour race. This is Nxtgen Racing, GT3 Season 5, round number 2 from Road America. And, well, I tell you what, the first race, I hope you didn't miss it. If you did, go and have a look on the Nxtgen page on YouTube and go and have a look at the first race, the sprint race. Oh, it was amazing stuff. And I don't think this one's going to be any different. The top 25 cars of 31 entries today, all finding themselves within 2 seconds of one another. The top 9 finding themselves within 9/10 of a second of one another in the qualifying session that we had for the first race of the day. So the cars that are available for GT3, McLaren GT3, the Audi R8, BMW M4, Ferrari 296, the Lambo Hurricane, the AMG Mercedes GT3, the 2020 version, and the Porsche 992R, which has proven to be the most popular car of the lot, and by the looks of it, the most successful car of all of them as well. So it looks like that is going to be the car of choice for the series. Let's see how that one's going to play itself out. So that is where we're at, and we have just completed the practice session. Everybody will get back to the pits. A big thanks to all our sponsors: Joyce Design, Motorsport UK Esports, Mark Sykes Design, Sam Cases, Higgins Automotive, Douglas Motorsport, Benji Sim, and Power Max. And let's have a look at that grid. Oh man, here we go. This is gonna be something else. Can you believe it? And well, it's an invert in class, which means all the gold class guys are inverted in their positions where they ended, and that means that Kieran Smart in 9th, Stefan Vessels in 8th, Gazza in 7th, 6th is Benjamin McCliskey, Martin Hobson, and then the 4 that ended behind them is then directly there in front of them at this stage of the fight. That's what it looks like out there. That's the front end of the grid. Let's just page a little bit further down to show you how the rest of the grid is going to look. It's going to be a standing start. 31 cars once everybody is on the grid, and it looks like they are all on the grid, and we go green and off the line. Oh, look at that. Oh, have a go straight away. Why not, did she? It's not over till the fat lady sings, and off they go down towards turn number 1. Nick Clemens is right in there. They all fighting for those positions. Clemens is in the middle of the 3 of them, and just one luckily that went off with that little, shall we refer to it as a tete-a-tete that happened up front. And Alan McCain from Stuart Wyness, Tom Weston, but look at the battle behind that. Gazza's got himself into that 7th position. Remember, the invert of the gold class, the invert of the silver class, and the invert of the bronze class even further back. Look how tight all of that is. Everybody finds their way through somehow. They make provision for one another and make sure that nothing goes wrong. Wyness is right in there. He's trying to make up that position. Clemens is in. Somebody's gone off. Jake Pitt that went off. It's Jake Pitt that's gone wide. Alan McCain that started on the front end of the grid. He pretty much stays there at this stage of the fight. He's got himself a 1.4 second gap while everybody else was trying to fight it out. He just up-dusted and disappeared. Oh, they'll close him down probably in the not-too-distant future. But look at that high-speed gold train as they work their way through. A little bit further back, Michael Seal, Mark Sykes, all of these guys. Oh, the Ferrari using the whole track and a little bit more. Weston's under pressure. Weston's got Stuart Wyness, and Clemens dives out. The sharp man tries to have a look on the inside, but he's slow coming out of the corner, and that brings Benjamin McCliskey a whole lot closer. Nothing much between them. Stefan Wessels in the 27 car. He's not been able to make up that much ground yet. I think he's not wanting to take a chance of getting bumped out or making a mistake himself. He knows Benjamin's got the pace. I mean, last week Benjamin was the man that pushed him. Clivens is right in there. Nick Clivens, Stuart Wyness directly behind him. Clivens closed the line off. It's Wyness that's going to have a look from the outside. They're so close to one another as they go down into turn number 1. That short little straight that they go over the rise underneath the Orange Bridge. That's through turn number 3. Linus Stern used the whole circuit, everything and a little bit more. Alan McCain says, you guys fight it out. I don't have a problem with that. Kieran Smart is on the back of Gaza. Gaza's going to have to go some. Kieran Smart knows he cannot let Stefan Wessels get away, because once Stefan's gone, you don't get... Oh, and they make a bit of contact. And that, unfortunately, is going to take... Oh, Gaza's one of them. It was Gaza that was involved in that. So let's have a look there. And then I think it was Jesse Wilkins was the other man. They make slight... Oh, he actually locks up the back all by himself, does Gaza. So a little bit of self-infliction there, I do believe. Nobody else to blame for that one. Back to the front end of the field. Give this man an invert grid and he'll show you how to get away and try and stay away at the front end. One lone sole Mercedes-Benz at the front. Western in the DCWR car in there behind that. Stuart Wyness touching the curb. Nick Clivens, the sharp man, just behind him is Benjamin McCliskey. Stefan Wessels follows through. Let's have a look as a onboard shot from Stefan Wessels. This is what he's got to do. South Africa, if he wants to get to the front end of the pack, it's all big names in front of him. It's all gold class races. Down into third gear. Let's just maybe do a lap with Stefan Wessels in there behind Benjamin McCliskey. Up the main straight they go. Pits on your right hand side there. You can see the pits. There's the start finish man. Up to fifth gear. Just keep on trucking. Let's see what kind of speed he gets to. 258 kilometers an hour all the way down to... Oh, the car snaps badly on him. Somebody just went off the circuit in front of that. That was Nick Clivens. Nick Clivens that went off the circuit. Everybody's trying to make use of that one as we ride on board with Stefan Wessels. Lap number 3, 4 minutes into this 1 hour race. Stefan Wessels behind Benjamin McCliskey. Stuart Wyness, Nick Clivens that just went off the circuit. That's why he is under so much pressure. Can he close that line off? Benjamin has a look up on the inside. Oh, and they make a bit of contact. I thought Benjamin would have backed out of that. Well, he eventually does. Stefan decides to try and make use of that one. Up through the kink they go now. And let's put up a track map that you guys can also see exactly where they are at this point. Hurry Downs is where they are now, going down in towards turn number 8. Hard on the brakes, use that inside curve, use that outside curve underneath the Speedwell bridge. I'm going to keep quiet now. Listen to the accelerator throttle control. That's how you've got to play with the accelerator. And you just got to ease it through there and carry as much pace, because the pace that you carry out there is what you now carry with you all the way through Kettle Bottoms down towards Canada Corner. So it's massively imperative that you do well through that section of the circuit. Canada Corner, extra piece of tar there on the outside. You don't want to pick up those penalty points by going off the edge of that stage of the fight. So you're going to be very, very careful for that one. And we're just about to complete a complete lap with Stefan Wessels. And in fact, Benjamin has got a slightly, just slightly away from him. But don't forget about that man up front. Oh, they've closed him down. The AMG Mercedes-Benz GT3 2020 model is being closed down slowly but surely. The iRace entry, the number 212, who had a bit of a gap Tom Weston is the first man that's closed down on him. The DCWR number 10 Porsche, the 992R GT3 Clivens in there behind that. Stuart Wyness is not out of it at all. Stuart Wyness is doing a great job. He's managed to hold off the likes of Benjamin McCliskey and get a bit of a gap between himself and Benjamin McCliskey. Stefan Wessels, the next man in there behind that. The 27 car. Kieran Smart, the man that was the fastest qualifier in race number 1, the winner of race number 1. So that gives him I think he had the fastest lap for race number 1 as well. So that would be 2 bonus points then for Kieran. But he's got his work cut out this time around as those Class A guys, the Gold Class, as they work their way through. Nothing much between them. Michael Seal just a little bit further back. You can see he's almost holding onto the back of that group, but just sweating it out a little bit. Got himself a bit of space between himself and Jens Worsens. So that's worked out pretty decent for him. Remember that the next man behind that is in fact the leading Class S man, that is Matthew Cheverton. And Matthew is on Matthew's next also. It's Lawrence Vliega that is the leading silver class car. And there behind him is in fact Jesse Wilkins. Just 4/10 of a second between the two of them. Jesse Wilkins 12th on circuit, second in class. Mark Sykes not that far behind them. One of the very few Ferraris out there. Mark Sykes is the fastest of the highest place Ferrari out there right now as they work their way up the front main to complete yet another lap. Bit of a battle going on behind that. Paul Scott and Gaza is trying to fight back. Gaza's closed up onto the back of Mark Sykes. Well, he did that pretty quickly. Is he going to go for the dive? Nope, not yet. Remember, that front group's getting away from Gaza. He needs to get the move on. He's a gold class driver, and in fact the next car behind him is a bronze class driver. That is Jorge Santos. So Jorge Santos is 16th overall, also in a Porsche, the 992R GT3. He leads out on the bronze class from Jordan Bibiot, right in there behind him. And then so far so good for David Favo. He finds himself in that 18th position. Not a hell of a lot of difference in the pace whatsoever. Is Alan McCain still at the front? Oh yes, he is. But Tom Weston, as we said, has closed down now to just a 10th of a second between the two of them. Weston all over his back bumper. He's just waiting for that opportunity to just dive in there and see if he can do that passing maneuver. Nope, he's not going to go for the inside line this time around. Looking back from Alan McCain as they work their way through second last corner. That's turn number 13. Now to line yourself up to get good drive out of 14. Oops, and up on the inside line he goes, and that is because that man in the AMG has succumbed to the pressure. Alan McCain, 5 laps he led with the iRace entry, and into the pit lane goes Stefan Wessels. That's a very early into the pits for Stefan Wessels. I think he's realized he's stuck in the traffic and he needs to get out of that traffic to be able to get some quick laps in. So the first of the big hitters is already into the pit lane. That means that Tim Weston leads them out. Nick Clivens, the sharp man, right in there behind him. Both of them in Porsches, the best and the fastest and the highest place of the BMWs. That's Stuart Wyness, Benjamin McCliskey, that was second overall in the round number 1 of the GT3s for Nxtgen 2023. He finds himself in that pole position. He's 2 places up. Kieran Smart has in fact won 4 places up already. So that makes quite a big difference. But remember, one of those is in the pits or in and out of the pits already. And that is going to make a bit of a difference because that 4 places up is actually 3 places up. He's still needs to go and make his pit stop. But look at this high-speed train of cars that's in there behind him, driving on board with Kieran Smart. Kettlebottom's a long run up to 5th gear, 230, 240, 250, 6th gear, 259, 260 kilometers an hour. Now you've got to scrub all of that off from 260 down to 110, 150 kilometers an hour that you have got to wipe out completely over the edge of the circuit. Kieran is pushing it very hard, but he knows the pressure's on because the boys up front are really, really quick. Jesse Wilkins, silver class, the fastest order, and the leading silver class car. Lawrence Vliega right in there behind him. Then the recovery, the massive recovery for Gaza. He's got 2.9. Remember that figure, 2.9. That's what he's got to do to get back to the back bumper of Lawrence Vliega after the off that he had. I see Mark Sykes has had a crash. Let's have a look at what happened to Mark Sykes. All looked quite fine up until that point there. Just picked up a little bit of curbstone. Just a little bit too loud going into that section. And yeah, by the time he got that going, he had lost quite a bit of ground then already by that stage of the fight. Gets it back out onto the circuit. There hasn't actually been that many crashes as a whole. Remember that Jesse Wilkins incident that there was earlier on, having a look up on the inside, and then just a touch of bumpers, light touch of bumpers. That was Gaza, and that's what took the next man out. Let's have a look from the cockpit view then of Gaza to see what that one looked like. There's Gaza in 6th gear, sticks it up on that inside line, hard on the brakes, and in an attempt not to touch the car in front of him, he actually ended up sacrificing himself. So a very sportsmanlike gesture there from him, making sure that he doesn't take out the car in front of him, as David Falvo must have had it off, because Falvo has just been passed by Nick Stock. Let's see exactly how that one played itself out. Yep, he went wide and popped up on the inside was Nigel Stock to make use of that one. So let's go back to the front end of the field, and that's a gold class driver, Tom Weston, that leads out from the sharp man, Nick Gibbons. As they come across the line, they start with lap number 8. They are a quarter of the way into the race. Here comes the high-speed train. Into the corner they go with Michael Seal in there behind Kieran. Now, if Michael can stick with Kieran, how? I don't know. But if Michael can stick with Kieran Smart, Kieran will probably take him closer to the front end of the field. So far, brilliant drive. Tom Weston, Nick Gibbons, Stuart Wyness, Benjamin McCliskey, and all of those guys are staying ahead of the race number 1 winner, Kieran Smart. Michael Seal we drive on board with. He's got a bit of a gap. If we look back from him, not too much pressure. There's the rest of the pack behind him, so that's not too much of a problem. It's that whole train that's in front of him that he's really interested in right now. But keep in mind, Gaza Williams on the fight pack. Remember I said I think it was 4.5? I think it was 4.5 down to 2.8. Gaza Williams, Gareth, heading on towards the back bumper of Lawrence Vliega as we ride on board with Michael Seal, following through on Kieran Smart, McCliskey, Wyness and Gibbons. 4-speed highway train. Weston's got the pace. Let's have a look at the last laps and let's see who was the quickest of those guys there. They're all doing 205s. Oh wow, look at that, 205s. The top 12 are all within the 205s. Weston was a smidgen quicker than everybody else. That's why he's got that 0.6 of a second gap on the rest of the guys. Let's see now as they go up across the line, how's that one going to play itself out, and who is then going to be the fastest of the guys out there as they work their way. There's the pit lane, 204.994. Oh, the Sharkman's on the move. Can you believe it? Oh, Stuart Wyness is even quicker, and McCliskey is even quicker than that. That is brilliant, smart, pretty much on the same as what McCliskey managed to do at that stage of the fight. As we watch the rest of the cars coming through up and past the pit lane, you can see further back it's starting to get just a little bit spread out. But the boys up front, Nick Clemens on Tom. Let's see who's got the overall fastest that time, because remember, well, let's put that all together in one package. It'll be a little bit easier. The best time so far, once again, Kieran, the man that's put up the fastest that time. So he's looking at a number of bonus points. It's all starting to come together for him, no doubt about that one. It's getting better and better. He's having a very, very good run. Gazza's got it down to 2 seconds now. That's the gap that he's looking at. It was 4.5. He's turned all of that around. But now the other thing is, who has been in for pit stops already? That's the big deal, as Stuart comes to have a look, see what he can do there. Stefan Wessels in 20th position. Something has not worked out for Stefan Wessels, that's for sure. He shouldn't be that far down still. I don't see any specific incidents that has happened for him. Can that pit stop take so long? Well, I suppose it's quite possible if you really think about it. It's a very long pit lane, and it's a long, slow ride as Nick Clibbons has done the pass. Nick Clibbons has done the pass, and he has gone to the front end of the field. He'll be super chuffed with that one. It doesn't matter how long he stays there, as long as he gets to there, that's what he's looking for. Nick Clibbons, let's have a look if we can pick up that passing maneuver. Nope, that one's already gone off screen. So Nick Clibbons from Stuart Wyness, Benjamin McCliskey, Kieran, Mr. Kieran Sroth, the winner of race number 1. That's that front back of cars that you see as they work their way through, all the way down to Michael Seal. Now Michael Seal in the 12 car, also a Porsche, just one of BMW, and it looks like teammates. It looks like they one behind the other once again. Michael Seal and Tom Weston just in front of him. But then there's a bit of a gap back to Jens. There's Jens Persons. Matthew Cheverton trying to hold on with the second of the BMWs out there. 9th overall out on circuit in the 390. Then the first of these silver glass cars. Lovely stuff with Lawrence Vlieger. He's got Gazza. How far is Gazza behind him? That's how far he is behind him. It hasn't got any bigger. It's got a whole lot. Oh, he's now within a second. Remember I said to you, remember this number? It was 4.5. That 4.5 is long gone, mama. That's long gone. It's now down to 9/10 of a second. But once Gazza gets to Lawrence, that is one thing. Lawrence is still 1.7 behind Matthew. Then Matthew is still 2.7 behind Jens, and Jens another 1.5 between himself and the back end of the high-speed 6-car train up front. But Christie looks like he's on the back of Stuart Wyness. Oh, he's closer. He's a lot closer. Benjamin on the move along the start-finish straight. Is he going to try and have that dive up on the inside? 400-meter mark, 300-meter mark, 200-meter mark. Down through turn number 1 they go. Nope, it's Linus Stern. That's not going to change. Let's go and have a look at our bronze class leader. And that's a new bronze class leader in my book, because that's Jordan Bibiot. Well done, Jordan. The fastest Ferrari out there. Jordan Bibiot, and he finds himself with a bit of a gap In fact, 3.8 seconds there only comes Alwyn Sykes. And then David Favo in the third of the Ferraris out there. He's in the background. There he comes out into the straight. That's in the bronze class. Jorge Santos into the pits. That's, you know what's going to look very interesting? When was the pit laps of the guys that have gone in? Stefan Vessel's lap number 5. So that's a long, long time back. How long was he in the pits for? 27.6 seconds. Now that's not too bad, but that still puts him a long, long way back. I don't know how Stefan Wessels is going to be able to recover from that one. Let's have a look at the gains and losses. And let's go back, I think, to Nick. Seeing Nick's leading out, let's give him some footage there. 3 places up for Nick, 4 for Benjamin. Kieran up 6, Tom down 1. He started in 3rd on the invert grid. Michael Seal 12 positions up, one of the biggest gainers out there so far is in fact Michael Seal. James up 9, Michael up 6, Lawrence Wiedler leading out the silver class up 6 positions. Gazza down 2, and Gazza's in the pit lane. Gazza's decided he's going to do the same thing. He's going to go for that early pit stop and see if he can get himself into some open air. And with a bit of luck, as Alwyn Sykes is into the pits as well. So the guys now starting to go. Look, we're on 23 minutes already, if you think about it. So, David Favo is also into the pits. He's just behind the pit wall. We won't be able to see him. There he goes. So he's on his way in there as Nick Clibbins leads them out. Clibbins, McCliskey, Smart, Weston, Seal, James, Matthew, Lawrence, Stuart 1S, Paul Scott. Different sound, that Audi R8, completely different sound to that. 3rd in the silver class, Jake Pitt. 1st in the bronze class, Georgian Bibiot. Alan McCain from Nigel Stock. Still very close. It looks like Benjamin's trying to put the pressure on him. So is Benjamin probably going to come into the pits on the next lap? Does he want to now put the pressure onto Nick? There's not a problem with the gaps in front of them at this stage of the fight, because if you look at Nick Clibbins, the lead car, there is a big gap between himself and the next man, which is Wesley. So when he comes up on the back end of Wesley, that'll be the first time that they really get into traffic. In fact, Wesley has gone into the pits. That's why that worked out the way that it did. So because Wesley's gone in, the gap is now 18 seconds to the back end of Daniel Fritz as we go through with the leaders. Into the pits is James Goossens. He's decided now is going to be the right time. Into the pits he goes. Oh, it must feel like a year and a day as you ride all the way up. Stops in his pit booth. Michael Cheverton is in his way. He's just stopped as well. Alan McCain on his way in. There you see in that rev limiter cannot go. You can see it shows the red on the screen saying that it's time to make a plan here as we go back to Nick Clibbins, and he's done it. He's gone up and made McCliskey do all the hard work. Benjamin McCliskey has gone to the front. Oh, the Shark Man in second, and the winner of race number 1, Kieran Smart, up 6 positions. Benjamin McCliskey doing a brilliant job. Don't forget about Stefan Wessels. Don't ever forget about Stefan Wessels. All of these guys have still got to go in. Jordan Bibiot up 20 positions. the bronze class driver, doing a brilliant job at this stage of the fight. Who has been into the pits? Stefan Wessels is still the new vehicle that has been in and out of the pit area, and that is going to put him in a very interesting position now when the likes of Paul Scott. Ooh, whoa! Massive knock into the wall. That car surely is not going to handle the same after that for Paul Scott as he went off the circuit. There was a very, very hard knock in the leading Audi. I would not be surprised if he goes into the pits. Talking about the pits, Benjamin McCluskey is in, Nick Clemens is in, Tom Weston is in, Michael Seal is in, Stuart Wyness is in as well. What does Jake Pitt do? Is Jake Pitt going to come in? Yep, Jake Pitt's going to come in as well. What about Paul Scott? Paul Scott's, oh, they're all climbing into the pits. Jordan Bibiot is in as well. What about Nigel Stock? He'll be the next man coming through. All of them are on their way into the pits. The only man that's gone through is that man, Kieran. Now, the trick is going to be when Kieran's got open ground in front of him, he's got to keep the hammer down. We're on 27 minutes. So it's not a train smash for him at this stage of the fight. There's everybody standing in the pits. The last one coming in, that was Nigel Stock and Jordan Bibiot. They're all standing, looking and just trying to get... Who's going to be the first man to get going? Well, it looks like it's going to be Nick Clibbins. That's going to be the first man that's going to come out of the pits. Who's going to be out there behind him? Benjamin McCluskey. And then Stefan Wessels. Oh, remember, Stefan Wessels was on the circuit. And oh, he runs it completely wide. And that is... who was that went off? That was... I'm not sure. That was Nick Clemens. Was it Nick that went off? Yes, it was. It was Nick Clemens that went off circuit. Wow, that's cost him. So that just showed you how hard Nick was running. Got it completely sideways and then got it all back together again. Did Nick Clemens. Let's see from inside the car when he went off. That was, oh yeah, it's just a little bit too much brakes and gear down at the same time. That's what took him off the circuit. Now he gets it all back together. But that's dropped him down a long way. Now, if you look at those pit stops, Kieran is the only guy that hasn't been in. Is he going to come in now? Yes, he is. So, the leader, the only man not to have made a pit stop, comes now into the pits. He'll be dying 1,000 deaths. Just look how slow that feels as you work your way through. Where is the rest of the pack? There you'll see on your screen, at the top end of your screen, the number 2. That being that man, Benjamin McCluskey. Stefan Wessels right in there behind him. Stefan Wessels right in there behind him. Where's Kieran? Standing dead still. Where's Benjamin McCluskey? 2 more corners to go. Kieran's got to get moving pretty soon. Remember, once they get out into the straight, they're going to have straight line speed. Kieran's still standing still. Is he going to be able to take it? I don't think so. I think it's going to... Oh, there he comes off the line now. Where is Benjamin McCluskey? Benjamin will be very, very close. There goes Kieran out onto the circuit. And he's going to take the lead. Here comes Benjamin McCluskey with Stefan Wessels and already around the corner. So, having made the stop when he did that give him extra space and time? Well, I think his pit stop was probably pretty quick. Let's have a look at the pit times. Yeah, 25. Look at that. 25.3 seconds. 28.7 for McCluskey. 27, 27, 26, 30 seconds for James Wilson. That's what's made the difference. So, if you look at Stefan Wessels on 27.6 at 25.3, 2.4 seconds. That is what Kieran has made up out of those pit stops. Was he just very much closer to the speed limit at that stage of the fight? Did he throw in slightly less fuel? Will he have enough fuel to make it to the end? That we're about to find out, as Matthew Cheverton has got a whole lot of cars behind him. Stuart Wyness, and then the leading Class S man, Lawrence Vlieger, in the Eagle entry. And he comes from Benelux. All over the world, all of these drivers come from. Nick Clibbons very, very close onto the back end of Michael Seal. Is Nick Clibbons faster than Michael Seal on the last lap? Well, he's going to go for the passing maneuver, and he's going to make it stick as well. Well, Nick Clibbons on a 2:52 at 2:50 by Michael Seal. So that's a bit of an invert of what we would have expected to see there at this stage of the fight. Nick Clibbons started in fourth and still in that fourth position as Michael Seal runs it slightly off the circuit, and that's going to slow him down, although he's right there in the slipstream, and Michael Seal is actually closing up on Nick Clibbons. He was on the dirt, but he got good drive down into the brake markers. They go, closes right up on the back of the iRacing sharp man. Where's our Gazza Williams? Where is Gareth Gazza? There he is. He's got a bit of space behind him, so that's good. He's past Matthew Cheverton. James Wilsons is the next man that he's going to try and catch. So Gazza's got a bit of hard work ahead of him. It's not all over yet. Stuart Wyness. He's had quite a day today, I must say. It was nice to watch him. Explosive driver coming out of the corners. Tends to get the hammer down very quick and very hard. Often snakes the back end. Does Stuart Wyness. Doesn't necessarily make it quicker, but it makes it great to watch. There's no doubt about that. Now leading Class S, the silver class driver, Jesse Wilkins, in that Audi, the full tilt entry. Just listen to the sound of that Audi. Let's ride on board with him. Listen to that throttle control. Now you get the hammer completely down. Use the curbstone underneath the bridge, up through the kink, bypassing the kink, not using that, back down through kettle bottoms, slight left-hander, unsighted towards the entry of Canada corner. 3 gears down, 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd. Using every piece of the circuit. Blind rise, blind apex over the top of the hill, coming around through to the last corner. Use everything that you've got. A late apex on that one to try and get as much straight line speed, and off you go up the straight. So let's have a look at the gaps that's up front. Kieran, well, I think he's pretty much the driver of the day at this stage of the fight. Winning race number 1, now in the lead of race number 2. Benjamin McCliskey in that second. Stefan Wessels, can he close up on that man in front of him? Nick just ahead of Michael. They've got a bit of a gap now on Jesse Wilkins, but remember, it's 2 different classes that they're in. Jesse Wilkins is in fact very much first in class right now, which is brilliant. Amazing for him. James Cousins right in there behind him in yet another Porsche, 7th overall on circuit, the 6th fastest Porsche out there, and then the man that everybody likes to watch, the crowd favorite, Gazza Williams, working his way through the 9-0 car. Ben Altria a little bit further back. Ben Altria he's a bronze class on the back end of Tom Weston, who's a gold class driver. I must say the Audis have a completely different sound to the Porsches. One sole lone AMG Mercedes-Benz out there, and that is Alan McCain. That's what that AMG Mercedes-Benz looks like. iRace Esports bike racer from Main Circuit Racing. Got that iRace livery on the side of the motor car. David Farbo in there behind him. Jorge Santos, Mark Sykes not in the same picture. He's 7 seconds further back. going back more towards the front end of the pack. 5th overall, 12 positions up. What a drive, Michael Seal, 12 positions up. And he's on to the sharp man, Nick Gibbons. Oh, closes up very nicely under the brakes. Underneath the bridge they go. Down towards turn number 3. Oh, snaking that Porsche 992 as he gets the power down. Nick Gibbons being chased down by Michael Seal. Not too much of a problem looking back from Michael. You can see he's got a fair amount of ground, so he can concentrate on this that's happening in front of him. He's in the top 5, is where he wants to be. That's the whole game. You've got to be in the top 5, but it's a boy thing. 37 minutes of the 1 hour. For those of you that have joined us late, where are we? It's Nxtgen Racing GT3 Season 5 Round 2 Road America. This is the 1 hour race that you are busy watching. We're riding on board with Michael Seal, who's just 0.5 of a second behind the sharp man Nick Gibbons. With a big thanks to our sponsors, Douglas Motorsport, Higgins Automotive, Joyce Design, Motorsport UK Esports, Mark Sykes Design, Sam Cases, Benji Sim, and Power Max. That is the guys that put their money where their mouth is and helped us to this whole season and session together. James Person, once Jesse Wilkins, the silver cross man, leading the silver cross. He wants that position so bad. He's getting right in close, tight and personal to see if he can maybe make the passing maneuver. I think he might actually do it. He actually ride on board with James Person underneath the NTT bridge. Here we come towards the start-finish line. Pits on the right-hand side. Well, not closing the line. Jesse Wilkins not closing the line in the full third entry. And that's going to cost him because that... Oh, no! Brilliant on the brakes. Maybe that is why Jesse Wilkins is where he is. That was amazing trail braking that he did as he went down through the gearbox. Jesse Wilkins, 6th overall. The leading Audi. The next, I mean, he's, if you think about it, he's actually doing an amazing job out there. Silver class in an Audi, which is not a popular motor car in this series. The next closest Audi to him is in fact 8 places further back, which is Ben Altria. Then the 85 of Paul Scott behind that. Then there's Alwyn Sykes in the Ferrari. Then we got James Smaggersgale. So as the Audi's going, he's doing a massively brilliant job out there. We've lost out on Costa, and we've lost out on Ulati as well. Let's see, was there anybody else? No, that was the whole lot. That's the guys that is out. Gabriel Yilmaz that ended up last in the previous race. He once again finds himself at the back of the pack. But guys, you've got to start somewhere. You've got to start somewhere. And Michael Seal thinks the place to start is by closing on the back of Nick Gibbons. He's very close. Jens Wilson's on the back of Jesse Wilkins. Still can't make that pass. It just doesn't want to work for him at this stage of the fight. Can Benjamin McCluskey catch up to Kieran Smart? The gap is 1.5 seconds. What is the last lap times that they put up? Benjamin was quicker. Not by a lot. 0.2 of a second. But then again, it's between being 1.4 behind and being 1.2 behind. Ooh, how's that for a dive for the inside line? James Wilson's deciding he's going to have a look, but he can't make it stick on chest at all. Gains and losses, how are we looking? 8 up, Kieran. Got to be a good candidate there for driver of the day. 4 up, Benjamin McCluskey. 5 up, Stefan Vessels. Nick Gibbons started 4th, ended 4th, but Michael Seal is the biggest of the gainers at this stage of the fight with 12 up, apart from the bronze class driver Ben Altria. Now remember, Ben Altria is a completely different class. That's a bronze class entry, and he's gone up 17 positions. The biggest loser, real terms, is the BMW driver of Martin Hobson. Now remember, Martin Hobson was the fastest qualifier in terms of BMWs. He finds himself now a long way down in 17th position, 12 places back. He started in 5th, which means that he was in the top 5 in race number 1. And unfortunately, this one hasn't worked out very nice for Martin at all. And while Alwyn Sykes is 11 up, and just in front of him, he's 12 down. That's a long, long way. We've only lost out on Costa and Ulati. And let's see who is still on the lead lap as such. Everybody except for Yilmaz that is still on that lead lap. So that's nice to know that there's not that much between the fastest and the slowest. It's not a case of the luckiest and the unlucky. You make your own luck in iRacing. Bit of a passing maneuver trying to go down there. Hobson makes up the move on Alwyn Sykes. Oh, and there's a man that's gone off. That could have been... Is that Nick? Could that have been? No, it's not. Let me just have a little look here and let's see who that was. That was Paul Scott. Oh, yeah, onto the grass, lift off on the gas, get it all back together. So that worked out pretty okay, but he lost a lot of pace. You can see he's now a lot slower on that part of the circuit, as he didn't carry that much speed going into that one. It was Lawrence Vigler that went off the track. Let's see if we can pick up that one. Yep, he's already turned himself around there. So let's see if we can pick up the first part of that. Yeah, I think we actually need a slightly different view on that to be able to see how the whole thing actually played itself out. Now to get going again. Oh, just look at how much time you lose. You've got to wait and wait and wait until such time as there's an open space for you. And then you've got to get it going pretty quickly. Oopsie, into the barrier he goes. So that off circuit there, you can see how he spun it around. Ended up facing in the wrong direction. And just that long train of cars coming towards him. Terrible situation to be in. There comes the AMG, the leading AMG, Mercedes-Benz, the only one, and that in the hands of Alan McCain. And look at the small window of vision that he's got at that stage of the fight to be able to see who's coming. He actually now mashes the front end of the car, and then he decides, no, this is not working, let's just take this thing back to the pits and get it all over and done with. James Wilson on the back of Jess. Jess still holding out. They're going to start another lap. Lap 44 minutes into this race. Time's ticking away. Gaza up into 8th position already. He'll pick up that slipstream. And he has picked up a bit of a slipstream. He actually made up a bit of space there. That was pretty good. So Gazza Williams now within a half a second of James Pearson. James Pearson probably going to be held up now a little bit because Jesse Wilkins is riding a protection line. He's got to, otherwise he's going to lose that position. So he's got to ride that protective line. That brings Gazza into play. Up on the inside line. Oh, so gentlemanly. Make sure you don't make any contact. Look in the mirror. What do you see behind you? Oh, it's Gazza. He's right on your back bumper. You don't want him to get past, but you don't want to take out the guy in front of you either. So you keep it nice and clean. Gonna have yet another go. James Wilson on the back of the Audi. Alright, LMS Audi. Completely different sounding car to those two Porsches behind him. Will he try and make the move now? Well, he seems to be pretty quick through that section of the circuit. Keep an eye a little bit further forward as well. Don't forget about Michael Seal. Oh, edge of the circuit. Michael Seal on the back of Nxtgen, started still in 4th position. The rest of the pack starting to spread out just a little. To my mind, Jesse Wilkins is the leading Class S car. And according to the way they loaded the second Class S car, is in fact quite a long way back. Also an Audi, and that being Paul Scott. A bit of a gap back to the BMW of Martin Hobson. Hobson, I'm sure, will not be having changes on the move. Jens is on the move, on the front lane they go. Heading down towards the first corner. That's the real battle out there on circuit right now. Gazza Williams, Jesse Wilkins, James Wilson, they're the closest to one another as we ride on board with James. Underneath the bridge he goes. So how far is he from anybody in front of him? 1.9 seconds between himself and Michael Seal. 47 and 3/4 minutes already gone. So that should not become an issue. James can concentrate on what's happening behind him and try and hold on to that. But you've got to give it up for this man, Kieran. What a drive. What a driver, what a drive. Fastest qualifier, winner of race number 1. Brilliant on the pit stop. Makes up 2.2 seconds on the likes of Stefan Wessels. Stefan obviously giving it his all. I mean, remember last week Stefan Wessels and Benjamin McCliskey, there was nothing much between the two of them. But only there do we now see Stefan Wessels, the man that initially in the qualifying was the fastest out there before he got bumped off by Kieran. Ended up on the front row of the grid, the two of them together. But Kieran has proven that he's done a whole heap of homework. The problem right now with a man that's really under pressure after his original earlier off is in fact Gazza. He's got into the back of Jesse Wilkins, but he can't get any further. There's only 11 minutes left, and he needs to make up these positions. And getting to the back of the Audi is one thing, getting past the Audi is definitely another. And it's just not working for Gazza at this stage of the fight. 0.28, 0.27, it's not enough. 0.6, 0.24. Nope, he's not going to be close enough to be able to make any kind of impression. I think Gazza is kind of stuck where he is right now. Michael Seal, I do believe he'll be pretty happy. 12 positions up. Of the top 12 cars, he's made up the most positions. Of the top 13 cars, Ben Altria, the leading bronze class entry, and he looks like that in the second of the Audis out there. He has gone up 17 positions. The man that must be surely very disappointed is Alan McCain in the Soul AMG Mercedes-Benz. From where he started, he has, remember, he led for a whole lot of laps, and then he went off on the second half after the apex of the last corner, corner number 14. Went wide, and they just came piling past him. He didn't have anything that he could do at that stage of the fight, and unfortunately, well, yep, it's dropped him 18 positions down, so not a happy day for him whatsoever. Gazza's closed up on the back end of Jess once again. Looking good, but good is not fast. Good is still behind. Fast is in front. That's what he needs to do. Will he ever look for the inside line? Nope, he says that that's not going to work either. Michael Seal. The Seal having a look at the shark. Excuse the pun. The DCWA. Oh, using the whole circuit and a bit more. The 992R GT3. 25 laps, 51 minutes into it. 8 minutes 45 still to go. It's just not close enough. got to be closer than that. By the time you get to the 400 meter mark, you've got to be within a tenth. If you're not within a tenth, it doesn't matter what line you take, it doesn't matter where you go, it ain't going to work. You're going to have to just concede that position. Michael Seal on Nick Clibbins. Gaza Williams on the back end of Jesse Wilkins. Stuart Wyness just a little bit further back. He's in open space now ahead of Matthew Cheverton, and then there comes Jake Pitt, and then the next man coming through behind that is Tom Weston, but behind Weston 8 seconds further back, here he comes now, the bronze class man of Ben Altria for bronze class. That's brilliant. He showed that him and Jesse, that the Audi ain't all bad, it can work. Man of the moment, Track Scotland, Kieran Swart, Mr. Kieran Swart, Benjamin McCliskey, the star of 2 weeks back in that second position, both of them making Stefan Wessels SA entrant look a little bit more pedestrian than the star striker that he was last week. Stefan Wessels has just got past Gilmays. Gilmays is in fact a lap down. Stefan Wessels 4 seconds off the back end of McCliskey. There comes Evans. There comes Michael Seal. There comes James Wilson. Gazzles in behind him. Jesse Wilkins, Stuart Wyness, Michael Cheverton, Jake Pitt, flashing lights. Tom Weston says, get out of the way, I gotta go brother. Dives it up on the inside line. Looks like he's going to make that maneuver. Yes, he does. So a bit of flashing lights just to show some intent. I'm in, I'm coming, I'm not backing out. Jake Pitt outside of the top 10. Next man in there behind him, and it's a bit of a gap through there. There he comes over the top of the hill. That's Tom Weston. 8 seconds further back to the leading bronze class. He's right on board with Ben Altria with just 6 minutes to go. Nice and smooth, nice and calm. No fancy hard maneuvers, harsh maneuvers on that steering whatsoever. The next man coming through behind that, the recovering Martin Hobson, 3 seconds ahead of the silver class man, and I think he's second in the silver class. As he goes through underneath the bridge is Alwyn Sykes, Nigel Stock, and the fourth of the BMWs out there. Into that straight cut gears as he knocks it down through the gears. Just 5 more minutes to go. Power Max, Benji Sim, Douglas Motorsport, Higgins Automotive, Choice Design, Motorsport UK Esports, Mark Sykes Design, and Same Cases, our sponsors for this series. Great stuff. And then don't forget about IMB Raceway. They in there with it as well. We go. Jens Squarsons. There we go. And Gaza has managed to make that move on Jens Squarsons eventually. And it wasn't an easy pass. He went for that inside line. He was still a long way back under the brakes. Cut it very, very tight. Ooh. wagging the tail end just a little bit. But he managed to make that move. But is it too little, too late for Gaza? Gaza finds himself 2.8 off the back end of Michael Seal, and with the amount of time that's left, that's just too far back. That is just too far back. Stefan Vessel's going to have to just be happy with that third position, because the boys up front are not making mistakes. Faultless all night long. Kieran Smart. A good push there by the Nxtgen 28 entry of Benjamin McCluskey. As always, Mr. Smooth. Stefan Vessels just outside of shark bite distance. Nick Clivens. Now Clivens will be coming up to lap Yilmaz. Yilmaz will stay on the left hand side, hopefully. Nick Clivens will go up on that inside line. Let's hope it all goes well for them under the braking markers. Yep, he makes that one up. Well, he now puts Yilmaz between himself and Gaza with 2.5 minutes to go, and that should be the buffer that he needs. Although Yilmaz in 27th, give him his due, he's in 27th, but he has stayed out of the way, not got in anybody's way whatsoever. Bit of dust, so the windscreen wiper goes on. I'm pretty sure that Yilmaz will not affect Gaza at all. Jens Goossens, Jesse Wilkins, Silver Glass, Stewart, Matthew, Jake, Tom, Tom's been a bit of a gap at the moment. 5 seconds ahead of him, 8 seconds behind him. Nothing much for him. Whereabouts do we find the leader? Is he already on the last lap? Nope, I think they're going to have to do one more after this. There's still more than a minute to go. So he'll come across the line. You'll see the one with the green around it going through Canada Corner. Turn 12. Down towards that little kink. That's turn 13. Like that. Into the last corner. Turn number 14. Of the 6.5 kilometer, 4.08 mile circuit. It's going to be another lap in it. Here he comes. What does the flag man say? The flag man's got the white flag going. The flag man is going to be busy up there right now as the rest of the guys come through. There you can see that's the flag position. Look at that old train of cars. Flash the lights, boys, I am a-comin'. That's Jesse Wilkins saying to James, please, 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 get out of the way. I have to get to this guy in front of me. We're in two different classes. Just give me a smidgen of space. And we're on the last lap. The hour is up. The last gasp effort. For Jesse Wilkins, the silver class entry on the back end of a James Wilson. Our leader on his way through Hurry Downs. He must be very happy with this one. Let's be honest. It's been faultless. Utterly faultless. Brilliant stuff. To keep the likes of Benjamin McCluskey out, you've got to know what you're doing. To keep the likes of Stefan Vessels out. Nick Clivens on a hot run today. Nick Clivens looking very, very good. The Shark Man in the 13 car. I think that he'll be pretty happy. And he's been very consistent in his positions during the course of the race. As our leader works down towards the second last corner. There he goes through the last corner now. And he's going to be coming up to the line. And that could take the checkered flag. Kieran Smart takes the check-in. Benjamin McCliskey comes through in second. Third place will go to Stefan Wessels. The Sharkman flashes the lights, comes through in fourth. Michael in fifth. Gaza, what a fight back to sixth position. James Persons, Jesse Wilkins, Stuart Wyness, Matthew Cheverton, as fast as you can say the names, so they come across the line. Jake Pitt, Tom Weston, Ben Altria, bronze class, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Rode that car out of his skin. He can be super chuffed. Ben Altria, Martin Hobson, good fight back, but not where he would have wanted to or liked it. Paul Scott doing well in the silver class as he comes up towards the checkered flag. Alwyn Sykes, the next man through behind that with Nigel Stock. Here comes Alan McCain. One sold Mercedes-Benz out there, and he led it for a long time on the invert grid. Did Alan McCain. Jorge Santos underneath the NTT bridge and up towards the start finish line. There's Mr. Starter waving the flag. David Favo. Mark Sykes. James comes through as well. James Smaggersgale. The man that I said I would say his name just once. His name is Gabriel. His surname is Papa Constantino. Jordan Bibiot comes through, and he's pretty much the last man to come across the line. Wow, wasn't that a race? Brilliant, 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 brilliant stuff. 31 cars that went out there and started the day, and of those 31, everybody barring two that makes it all the way to the end. And let's just go a little bit more towards the front end of the field. Didn't recover that one. Let's just go towards the front end. There we go. Kieran Smart with the extra points. Remember, pole position, extra point. Fastest lap, extra point as well. Am I correct with that fastest lap? Let's just make a quick look-see. If it will still give it to us. No, unfortunately not. It will not. It's already gone. But I'm pretty sure that he got the fastest lap as well. Benjamin McCliskey, lovely stuff. Mr. Consistency ahead there of Stefan Wessels. The Sharkman ahead of the Seal. Nick Clibbins ahead of Michael Seal. Gaza coming through there. Overall, a hell of a fight back. Starting in 8th position. Going a long way back after that off and coming all the way back to 7th. Making up 8 positions from 15th is James Goosen. From Jesse Wilkins, Stuart Wyness, Matthew Cheverton. You can see there's the top 18. Let's just go a little bit further back so you can see a little bit further down the field. Jorge Santos. Wow, you'll be happy. You'll be very happy with that one, that's for sure. There you can see the team names as well. Whiskey Runners Racing, Costa, and Daniel Fritz, both of them running under the Whiskey Runners Racing logo. Aztec Racing for James Smaggersgale. And folks, that's pretty much the way that it plays itself out for the feature race for today. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been an honor and a pleasure to be here with you. A big thanks to Sam Cases, Mark Sykes Designs, Motorsport, UK Esports, Joyce Design, Higgins Automotive, Douglas Motorsport, Benji Sim, and Power Maxed for their input into making this all possible for us. And well, as we play you out with the IMB Raceway logo, My name's Gary Fleming, Second Gear Productions. It's been great to be here with you. I'll see you same time next week, and we'll be back with round 2 of the Protos. From my side, it's been great, guys. Cheers, everybody.